Just a little over halfway here. Creech, Beckett, Scott are your top three. All right, we got, there we go, 15 to go, 15 to go. Creech is your current leader. Beckett Russell, less than a second and a half behind him. Scott, 5 seconds behind Beckett. David Sutton, Dominic Dell, Chris Russell, Blake Dell, Cody Wright, Kenny Kopp is rounding it out. It's good re-entry there. Five to go, 5 to go. Creech is still your leader by 2 seconds, followed by Beckett, then Scott, 4 seconds behind him. David Sutton, Chris Russell, Dominic Dell, Cody Wright, Blake Dell, and Kenny is out. Oh, that's your leader with a little tangle. Let's see if that affects him on the way around here. 2 laps to go. 1 lap to go. Beckett Russell is now 1/10 of a second behind Creech. That might have cost him right there.
Tim Creech done.
That is it, though. He
Chris
managed
Russell
to squeak
done.
by.
Blake Delt done.
Finish the
Beckett
lap you're
Russell
on.
done.
Looks like everybody is
Cody Wright done.
Okay, your
All drivers are
finishing
finished.
order: Tim Creech, Beckett
Scott
Russell,
Rance done.
and Scott Rance. Your 1,
David
2,
Sutton
3.
done.
All right.
Dominic Delt done.
Head on to the next race here. Next up is Losi Sprint. Give everybody a minute here. I know there's a lot of people. All right, if you are not in the next race, go ahead and assume you are marshalling. Find yourself a nice, comfy little marshal spot. All right, your Losi Sprint folks are Tim Creech, David Sutton, Beckett Russell, and Chris Russell. But I also know all of you guys were in the previous race, so we'll be patient. Next up, though, is going to be your street stock. All right, again, box stock NASCAR guys, if you are not in this race, you are probably marshaling. We'll just need 4 out there, so Looks like we're good with marshals.
David Sutton.
Thank you, marshals.
Beckett Russell.
All right, take it easy out there, gentlemen. You do want to make it to the race.
Chris Russell. Tim Creech.
All right, everybody's checked in. All under the correct transponder, I assume. So whenever you're ready, we're going to go ahead and line it up on the back with Tim Creech, David Sutton, Beckett Russell, and Chris Russell. All right, very nicely done without even me prompting you. I love it. Go ahead and bring it around. And we are go. All right, we are just a little over 10 laps in, and the entire field is separated by less than a second and a half. David Sutton has your fast lap with a 4.8, a couple 4.9s, and a 5.0, so everybody's real tight. Current leader is Tim Creech by a second, followed by David Sutton, then Beckett, then Chris. All right, a little over halfway through. Tim Creech still your leader, but only by 0.03 of a second. David Sutton hot on his tail. And David Sutton has actually taken the lead, so now it's David, Tim, Chris, and then Beckett. Usually these low-C sprint cars are a little bit more acrobatic around the turns, but everybody's keeping it mostly level here. Fifteen to go, 15 to go. David's starting to open up that lead. Now he's a second and a half ahead of Tim Creech. 4.8 from the third lap is still his fast one. Nice and close. Oh, got caught up a little bit. Gentlemanly thing to do and hold on for him. 5 to go, 5 to go. 1 lap left. Keep it going.
David Sutton done.
David Sutton
Beckett
is your
Russell
leader. Go
done.
ahead and finish the laps you are
Chris
on.
Russell done.
That is everybody
All
done.
drivers are
David,
finished.
Tim, Chris, and Beckett.
Tim Creech done.
All right, Street Stock is next. Creech, I think you're the only one from the last one that's not in this next one, so please head back on out to Marshall. Yeah, just right in the middle. Get that head in a swivel. Can we get at least 2 volunteers? I think we can maybe get away with 3 people kind of spread out around, but if there's a 4th one that wants to volunteer, that'd be great. If anything, it'll keep you nice and warm, being on your toes. We got a little time because 3 of those guys were in the last race, so we got a minute.
Scott Rance.
Oh, one of you guys can sit down. Creech has to, not you, Creech. Yeah. One of you guys can go back. Creech will do it. Thank you. I appreciate that, though. No, you're not getting off the hook here.
Beckett Russell.
All right, everybody wearing a Jammer sweatshirt today gets an extra lap taken off. Automatic TQ for wearing that sweatshirt.
David Sutton. Chris Russell.
Lee, can you go around again?
Lee Kiesling.
Okie dokie. All right, so go ahead and line them up on back. Stretch there. Your order is going to be David Sutton, Lee, Chris, Scott, and Beckett. That's David, Lee, Chris, Scott, and Beckett. Go ahead and start us off, David. And we are go. Watch it on the back, front stretch there. Okay, there we go. Oh, we already got somebody out. Oh, no. There we go. Okay. All right, a little bit of an auspicious start there, but now we're rolling, it seems. I got plenty of time to change those tires. All right, we are 15 laps in. Chris Russell is your current leader, followed by Beckett, 9 seconds behind. Lee, then Scott, and David Sutton is out. $15 to go. Chris Russell, Beckett Russell, Scott Rance, Lee. That's your order. Your current fast lap is Scott Rance with a 4.9, 0.2 faster than anybody else in the field. And Chris has a pretty commanding lead over the junior, 10 seconds ahead. Scott 12 seconds behind the leader, but pretty hot on Beckett's tail. Four to go. Closest battle is for that second place spot between Scott and Beckett.
Chris Russell done.
All right, finish a lap. You're on.
Scott Rance done. Lee Kiesling done.
That is your
All
race
drivers
there.
are
Finishing
finished.
order, Chris, Beckett,
Russell
Scott,
done.
Lee. NASCAR Truck Mod, or NAS Truck Mod, is up. Chris, Beckett, Scott, Lee, and David. Okay, so I need 4 full volunteers. So if you're not in this one, I'm going to need some volunteers. This is going to be a big volunteer day. You can look at it as a positive, gets you more involved in everything that's going on here.
Lee Kiesling.
All right, after RTT, these are probably my favorites. They're just insane, super fast. I would encourage anybody with a current box stock NASCAR to look into purchasing the brushless setup from Spectrum.
Tim Creech.
And as a coincidence, we do carry them in the hobby shop. We also have the bodies as well. You just need a minute there, Scott? Just need a minute? Okay. All right, Beckett, do you want to marshal for me then? Thank you. All right, can you just cover 3 and 4? Is that okay? All right. Oh, thank you. All right, cool. We're just gonna Beckett's gonna help us out with this one since he can't race. Chris, can I get you to go around once?
Chris Russell.
Scott, can I get you to go around once, please?
Scott Rance.
Okie dokie. We're going to get going here. Your order is going to be Lee, Chris, Scott, and Tim. So go ahead and lead them off there. Lee, nice and slow. And we are go. All right, so I accidentally set up this qualifier as a timed one versus laps, so that's how I'll be calling this particular one off because we are 90 seconds in. Lee is your leader with a 47.401. Tim with a 45.402. Chris Russell with a 43.401. Oh, and Scott just leapfrogged him with a 43.401 as well. Very close. Closest race right now is between second and third. Scott is 1/10 of a second behind Tim for that number 2 spot. Current fast lap by Lee is 5 even. But everybody else is very close to that fast lap here. Lee just beat his fast lap, getting it closer to that 5 even, 5 flat, 5.014. Scott with a 5.062. Tim with a 5.083. Chris Russell with a 5.282. Less than 90 seconds to go. Lee is still your leader by about 7.5 seconds. Scott Rance, number 2. Tim Creech, 1.1 seconds behind. But it looks like Tim just had a little mishap there, so we'll see how that affects him. Does put him back now into the 4 spot. Chris Russell is taking over that number 3. Minute to go.
1 minute left.
That is your leader in the red and white. Lee has been an ardent supporter of this class, so it
45 seconds left.
serves him right that he's leading this one. He's definitely got that truck dialed in now. Coming up on 30 to go, 30 to go.
30 seconds left.
USAC Sprint is next. Beckett, Jason, Chris, and David.
15 seconds left.
10 to go, 10 to go. Go ahead and keep racing until you hear your name called.
Lee Kiesling done. Chris Russell done. Tim Creech done.
All right.
All drivers are finished.
Everybody is finished on
Scott
USAC.
Rance done.
Thank you, marshals. All right, Beckett, Jason, Chris, and David. Lee, I need you to hang back. Scott, please hang back to Marshall. Creech, please hang back to Marshall.
David Sutton.
Leah, do you think you'd be able to cover between 3 and 4 and just get those two corners? Great, thank you. All right, guys, if you're going to crash, between 1 and 2 is probably the best place to do it. Thanks, Creech. Okay. Beckett, let's go ahead and get you to go around once, please, so I can get you matched up to the transponder here. I think I got it, but...
Beckett Russell.
All right, Jason, please come around.
Jason Poole.
There you go. And then, Chris, could I get you to come around?
Chris Russell.
All right, everybody's checked in. Anybody else need any extra laps or anything like that? All right, your order is going to be Beckett, Jason, Chris, and David. Beckett, Jason, Chris, and David. Beckett, go ahead and get us started there, nice and slow. Get everybody close together. And we are go. Watch out on the backstretch. All clear. All right, a little over 15 laps in. David Sutton's your current leader by 4.5 seconds over Chris Russell. Chris Russell followed by Jason Poole and then Beckett in the 4 slot. Closest battle right now is between second and third with only 0.3 of a second separating them. And then fourth place, only 2 seconds behind third. Current fast lap with a blistering 4.861 by David Sutton. David on a clean pass there. Nice and tight on the inside. 17 to go. Jason's moved up to the 2 spot. Chris Russell in third, followed by Beckett on less than a second and a half behind Chris. Yeah, David Sutton, a master of avoiding all sorts of issues. Ten to go. 4 laps to go. Order remains the same. Everybody's kind of pulling away from each other here. One of cleaner USAC races I've seen. 1 to go.
David Sutton done.
Keep going. Finish a lap.
Jason
You're on, please.
Poole done. Beckett Russell done. All drivers are finished.
That is your race.
Chris
and
Russell
that
done.
should be the end of qualifying round 1. We will start back up at, we'll say 1:05. Give everybody a little breather here. All of our marshals a little time to rest and maybe ice up their knees. I don't know. I'm going to turn practice back on if you need to get out there and practice a little bit.
Tim Creech. Beckett Russell.
Okay.
Chris Russell.
Just waiting on David, it looks like. All right, David's sitting this one out. So your order is going to be Tim, Beckett, Scott, Chris, Dominic, Cody, Blake, and Kenny. So Creech, go ahead and get us rolling there. Perfect. You guys are doing excellent. Thank you. And we'll come around here. We'll get you going on the back stretch. We are go. It's Q2. Oh, we need a couple. We need a marshal over here on the other side. Thanks, Lee. We got somebody here on this side now. You're good. Oh, a little contact there between 1 and 2. Landed on his feet, though. Able to keep it rolling. All right, 10 left. Beckett and Chris are in the lead, followed by Tim Creech, Scott Rance, Dominic, Cody, Blake. Looks like Kenny is out as well. Closest race right now is basically the entire top of the field, 1 through 4, about a second between all of them. Losi Sprint is next. Sutton, Creech, and the Russell boys. Watch the back. All clear. All right, it looks like Beckett's still on top, but only by about a second and a half. Scott has moved up into the third spot. Creech has fought his way back up into the podium, followed by Chris, Dominic, Cody, Blake. Rounds out the field. Very tight up at the top, though. Closest race is between second and third. Creech has just moved up into the 2 spot. Scott just 0.5 of a second behind him. Current fast lap is Scott Rance with a 5.93. Creech with a 5.959. 17 to go, 17 to go. Oh, watch out between 1 and 2. All clear. Watch out in the backstretch. Go high, very high, very high. All clear on the back. Except for your marshal. But he's light on his feet. I got it. All right, it looks like your leaders managed to avoid all that. 12 to go. Five laps to go. Tim is only a second behind Beckett. So as long as Beckett can keep it clean, should be able to finish out these last 4 laps. 3 to go, 3 to go. Last lap here.
Beckett Russell done.
There is Beckett with the
Tim Creech
Q1
done.
win, followed by Tim.
Cody Wright done.
Scott crosses in
Dominic
third.
Delp
Chris,
done.
0.2 of a second behind
Scott
him.
Rance
Dominic,
done.
Cody, and Blake round
Chris
out the
Russell
field.
done. All drivers are finished.
All right, and if you
Blake
are
Delp
not
done.
in this next race, you are probably marshaling. Losi Sprint, Mr. Sutton, Mr. Creech, Mr. Russell, and Mr. Russell Jr. Staying nice and limber there, Lee? All right. It's good for you. I can't figure out oval at all, so.
Tim Creech. Beckett Russell. David Sutton.
All right, got to make it to the race, guys. Got to make it to the race. Everybody's checked in. Looks like we got all of our marshals in position. Thank you
Chris
so
Russell.
much. When you're ready, line it up on the back. Your order is going to be David Sutton, Tim Creech, Chris Russell, and Beckett Russell. Mr. Sutton, please get us started. Nicely done. True professional. And we are go. Q2 Losi Sprint. Everybody got your jock straps on because these will hop up and get you. All right, 10 in. David Sutton's your current leader. He's almost going to break that 4.8 barrier. He's going to get below that, I think, at some point. Tim Creech, number 2 spot. Sorry, Chris Russell just jumped up ahead of Tim. Beckett in the 4 slot. I think he's going to get a 4.7. He's going to get into the 4.7s. Yeah. Very close racing there. Might put, that was Tim, very close there. Chris Russell only a half second behind David. Tim Creech, a little bobble there, put him 2.4 seconds behind the second spot. Beckett only 3 seconds behind the 3rd spot. Let's see if Tim can work his way back up. 26 down, 24 to go. $15 to go. David, still your leader. Going to do those 50 laps in 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Chris Russell just a second and a half behind him, though. Tim Creech has fallen back a little bit, 6.5 seconds behind second. Beckett, 5.5 seconds behind Tim Creech. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little disappointed. Usually there's a lot more carnage out here with these things. I really didn't come here to watch 50 clean laps. I want to see some major damage. Five to go. Chris has taken the lead over David Sutton. Seem to have some sort of issue with Beckett's there in the backfield. 2 to go, 1 to go.
Chris Russell done.
All right, keep it going.
David Sutton done. All
that
drivers
should be
are
everybody.
finished. Tim
Excellent,
Creech
thank
done.
you. Chris, David, Tim, Beckett. All right, Tim is your only one. Creech is your only one that's staying here to do some marshaling. And then go ahead and Rochambeau for volunteers back there. But your street stock is going to be up now. We got a few minutes because all of these drivers pretty much are in the next one. All right, your Nastruck mod is going to be after this one. Creech will have you go to number 2 over there by the hobby shop. Steve, how you doing over there in the hobby shop? You good? All right. I don't want to ruin it for you, Steve, but that might be the wrong car for today.
Scott Rance. Lee Kiesling.
Lee off to a good start.
Beckett Russell.
All right, we got our marshals in place, almost. Thank you. Creech, take your time. It's all right. We got a couple more that need to come out here.
David Sutton.
There we go. All right, Chris, go ahead and get a couple warm-up in there. Whenever
Chris
you're ready,
Russell.
just pull it off there. For the B3? 6.3. I will have to look it up. I'm not sure, though, off the top of my head. So it might be a little bit of wait. I mean, I run a 6.4. So, yeah. And I know some 6.3s, yeah. 6.2s, actually. So, yeah.
You run sway bars on them out here?
I do. That doesn't mean I'm good.
Well, that's what I figured. It doesn't have it, so.
Alrighty. Okay, your order is going to be Chris, Beckett, Scott, Lee, and David. So, Chris Russell, can you go ahead and get us started nice and slow, coming around there onto the front stretch. And then we'll start you guys when you get on the back stretch here. All right, we are go. 50 laps of your street stock. Ho, ho, look out. All right, we're just over 15 laps in. Scott is your current leader, but hot on his tail, less than a second and a half. Chris Russell, followed by Beckett Russell, 0.3 of a second off of Chris. Lee in fourth. David, street stock is not his class today. But we'll see if we can turn that around for Q3 in the mains. All right, 19 to go. Scott still your leader. 2.5 seconds behind him is Chris Russell. 0.2 of a second behind Chris is Beckett, and Beckett actually just took the lead here. But it is very thin lead. 0.2 of a second between Chris and Beckett. What? Laps. Time for NASCAR, but that was the only one. I switched it over. All right, guys, 10 to go. Scott is still your leader there. There's only 3.5 seconds dividing the top three, though. Five to go. Let's see if Chris can get that number 2 spot back from Beckett. Scott has actually moved himself up 2 slots in qualifying. Chris has fallen 2 slots. Beckett remains in the number 2 spot. 1 to go.
Scott Rams
There's your leader
done.
crossing.
Lee
There's
Kiesling
Beckett
done.
and Chris.
Beckett Russell done.
Everybody is finished.
All drivers are finished.
All set.
Chris Russell done.
Next up here is your NAS Truck mod. Steve, I didn't see us having those roll bars. It's 91.822 and 91.821 are the 2 parts, bars and the hard. I didn't see it. It says like B6.1. That's what it came up when I did the search. Yeah. Okay. I think people are using 35 up front and 30 rear. So they're a little heavier up front. And then we have the 1-up stuff here.
Okay, I've got 35.
You can do 40 to 35 or especially stuff.
Okay, thanks.
You gonna be able to make it 40, you think?
Not tomorrow, but sometime this next week.
Okay. Yeah, we do Thursday.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of shooting.
Great. Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming in, man. Oh, and Steve, you can always check alshobbyshopindy.com.
Yeah.
That has all of our stuff on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure. All right. NAS Truck mod, Lee, Scott, Chris, Tim, and Beckett. So this one I will need 4 volunteers for. 4 volunteers. As the entire last crew is in this one. Basically.
Tim Creech. Lee Kiesling. Scott Rance.
All right, we'll wait for Chris and Beckett to check in here.
Chris Russell.
Chris? Beckett, was that just you that crossed? All right.
Beckett Russell.
Okie dokie. All right, your order is going to be, Lee's going to be out of this one, but it's going to be Scott, Chris, Creech, and Beckett. So it's Scott, Chris, Creech, and Beckett. So go ahead and get us started, Scott. Bring it around here. We'll start you when you're on the back stretch. And we are go. Nice recovery, Creech. All right, and I did fix this, so we are going for 50 laps on this one. 50 laps. All right, and if you don't want to upgrade your current box stock one, we do have these for sale in the hobby shop. And Horizon was nice enough to slash their prices, so I followed suit. Now the Gen 1, which we have 3 of here, are $169.99, and we do have the brushless system. All right, we are just about 15 laps in here. Scott is your current leader. 3.5 seconds behind him is Creech. 1.5 seconds behind him is Chris Russell. Then Beckett, 5.5 seconds behind Chris. Current fast lap is by Scott with a 4.982, just getting in under that 5 flat. But very close is Tim Creech with a 5.079. $25 to go. $25 to go. 16 laps to go. Scott, still your current leader. No real close races except for Beckett and Chris. Chris is in the 3 slot. Beckett just 0.3 of a second behind him. 0.2 of a second now. Maybe he can catch up to him and get that number 3 spot from him. And a little tap there. Gonna wait for him. But that does switch the order right there. 10 laps to go. That's Tim Creech there, but he managed to get it back on its feet. Scott currently running very clean laps out there, giving himself an 8.5 second lead over the field. 5 to go. USAC Sprint is next. Last race of Q2. David Sutton, Jason Poole, Beckett, and Chris. 2 laps to go. 1 lap down. Here comes your leader around, and that's it for him. Creech, Beckett, Chris, Russell, keep going.
Beckett, Russell, done.
All right, that is
Chris,
everybody.
done. All drivers are finished. Tim Creech, done.
All right, we are on to USAC Sprint. Race 5 of 5 for this Q2. David, Jason, Beckett, and Chris. Gonna need Lee and Scott out here. And as usual, a couple volunteers. What's up?
Jason Poole. David Sutton. Beckett, Russell.
All right. Lee, you're headed to 3, I guess. Yep, excellent, thank you. All right, we got our marshals pretty much in place here. Once we get Chris checked in and get a couple laps in, then we can go.
Chris Russell.
Okay, your order is going to be David Sutton, Jason Poole, Beckett Russell, and Chris Russell. David, go ahead and get us started, please. Bring us around. And as usual, we're going to start you on the backstretch. And we are go. 50 laps, Q2, USAC. All right, relatively clean racing so far. We are 15 laps in with David Russell and the David Russell. This is an old Hollywood producer. Okay, David Sutton in the lead by about 5 seconds over Beckett Russell. Chris Russell in the 3 spot, but he's 9 seconds behind Beckett. Jason dropped to 4th with 10.9 seconds behind. Your current qualifying leader is David. Beckett's moved up 1, Chris has moved up 1, and Jason's moved down 2. Let's see if Jason can claw his way back here. Current fast lap set by David Sutton just in his last lap, 4.808. Wonder if he can get that one down to the 4.7s. Beckett Russell, the second fastest. Sorry, Jason's the second fastest, 4.954. Beckett with a 4.997. Chris with a 5.073. See if maybe he can get that down into the 4s. He set that fast lap on his 24th lap. 17 to go. Current order is David, Beckett. Jason now has moved up to the 3 spot. Chris. 15 to go. 14 to go. Seven to go here. No real close battles. About the closest one is between Jason in 3rd, Chris in 4th. Chris is 2.6 seconds behind. But everybody's keeping it pretty clean over here. One lap to go.
David Sutton done.
Just kidding. That was the last one. There we
Chris
go.
Russell done. Beckett, Russell done.
All right, everybody is
All
finished.
drivers are finished.
David, Beckett, Jason, and Chris is
Jason
your
Poole
finishing
done.
order. That brings Q2 to a close. We are going to start Q3 at 2:05. We are running on a nice, tidy schedule here, gentlemen.
Blake Delk. Dominic Delk. Tim Creech.
All right, I needed a couple marshals from my other races here.
Scott Rance.
Beckett and Chris, are you going to make it to this race? All right, okay. All right, Kenny? Did Kenny leave? Looks like it, maybe. Okay. All right, and then David with a pinch hitter here.
David
Well, the good news
Sutton.
is everybody's going to make the A main today. There you go. I'll feel great about that. All right, but Chris and Becca, is there any way I can get you some get some help for some marshaling? Thank you. Thank you. Lee, you think you can do 3 and 4 there on your own? Cool. Okay. Gary, thank you for stepping in here. I'm assuming you're stepping in. You're in that position there. Okay, with Beckett out, Creech is going to be your number 1 slot here. Then Scott, Dominic, Cody, Blake, and Jason driving for David. So go ahead and get them coming around, guys, and we will start you on the back stretch. We are a go. 50 laps, Q3, box stock NASCAR. All right, we are 15 laps in. Scott Rance out in front, followed by Tim Creech, Dominic, Cody, Jason, Blake, and Beckett, Chris, and Kenny are all out. Scott has a current fast lap, just under 5.9. Everybody else is at a 6 flat. Tim Creech, 0.9 of a second behind Scott. Dominic, 3.7 seconds behind Creech, so 1 and 2 are pretty safe up there right now. Cody in the 4 spot, trying to get to that 3rd, only 0.4 of a second behind. Scott Rance has moved up 2 spots right now in qualifying. Now Creech has closed the gap to 0.4 of a second on Scott. Going to put the pressure on him. There's your 1 and 2 coming down the front stretch there. Now down to 0.2 of a second. 0.1 of a second. And there's the pass right there. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Very clean. We do have a switch here. Cody is only half a second behind Dominic for that number 3 spot. Tim has moved up 1 spot in qualifying. Scott up 1 spot. Beckett, unfortunately not in this race, moved down 2. Now Creech is starting to walk away with a little bit here. Now open that gap to 0.7 of a second. But both Scott and Tim are 8 seconds ahead of the pack. Nine to go, gentlemen, 9 to go. Watch out on, watch out on 4. We got a turtle. Five to go. Two to go.
Tim Creech done.
And there
Blake
is
Delp
Tim
done.
taking the
Scott
TQ
Rance
spot.
done.
Scott
David Sutton
qualifying
done.
2nd overall.
Dominic
Beckett
Delp
remains
done.
in the 3 slot, followed by
All
Chris,
drivers are
Dominic,
finished.
Cody up to the 6th
Cody
spot.
Wright
David
done.
Sutton, piloted by Jason Poole. Blake and Kenny. All right, guys. Losi Sprint is up. Chris, David, Tim, and Beckett. Again, if you're not in the next race, you are marshaling.
Beckett Russell. David Sutton, Chris Russell, Tim Creech.
All right, just need my marshals out there. I see one. I know Scott's over here. So if you guys are from NASCAR, I need you back out here to marshal. Just part of the gig. All right. Okay. Your order is going to be Chris Russell, David Sutton, Creech, and Beckett. So, Chris, can you go ahead and get us started there? Bring it on around. And we'll start you on the backstretch. We are go. All right, marshals, these things can get airborne, so keep your eyes peeled. Maybe just one hand in front of your crotch. You never know. All right, clear over there. All right, looks like Beckett is out. Just over 10 laps in, David Sutton, current leader. Fast lap of a 4.787. I know he's out there with some new tires, I believe. He might have a good thing or two to say about them. Second is Chris Russell, 1.5 seconds behind David. Creech, 3.2 seconds behind Chris, but now it's just the three of them out there. Your current qualifying positions are staying the same with David, Chris, and Tim. All right, it is a close race for that 3 slot, 1/10 of a second. David, on the other hand, seems to be a lap ahead. Oop, just lost a half a lap. Think maybe it's just David trying to have a little fun, let those guys get a little closer, let them think they have a chance. Six-tenths of a second separate Chris and Creech. Now down to 4. It's like David's got about a half a lap up on them, but he's going to have to stay nice and clean. Eight to go, gentlemen. 8 to go. Chris has opened up a little bit of a lead over Creech. It's now a second ahead of him. David's managed to spread out that lead a little bit. 3.5 seconds ahead, a little over half a lap. Coming up on traffic, is he going to try to get another lap on him, or is he going to keep it clean? It's currently about a second ahead of TQ pace, 2 seconds ahead of TQ pace. 1 lap to go.
David Sutton
that's
done.
it. Chris and Creech
All
finish it out.
drivers are finished.
All done.
Chris Russell done.
All right, your qualifying
Creech
order is
done.
going to be David Sutton, Chris Russell, Tim Creech, and Beckett Russell for the mains. Street stock, gentlemen, you are up. NAS truck is following this race. All right, Creech, we'll need you back out here for marshaling, please. And then I need a couple volunteers, please, to come up and help us out. Skeleton crew today. The extra volunteer marshaling is much, much, much appreciated. I understand you just want to chill out at your pit and work on your car, but sometimes it just is. Thank you, gentlemen.
Lee Kiesling. All right, we do have marshals in place, so just waiting on everybody to get themselves checked in. Again, your NAS truck mod is next. Scott Rance. David Sutton, Beckett Russell, Chris Russell,
All right, everybody's checked in, so whenever you're ready, just park it on the back. Sorry. Okay, your order is going to be Scott, Beckett, Chris, Lee, and David. Let's see if David has figured some things out here. Had a rough couple cues. So, Scott, go ahead and get us started. Nice and slow. Get everybody nice and close together. Bring it around the front there. All right, we're going to start you on the back. We are a go. Final qualifying round for our street stock, 50 laps to go. Currently at pole is Scott Rance. Little contact there, keeping it clean though. All right, we are 15 laps in. Current leader is Beckett Russell, but he is only 1/10 of a second ahead of Scott Rance. Chris Russell just a second behind them. Looks like David Sutton is out. Street stock, not treating him well today. See if he can get it together for the mains. And that is a pass for first. Let's see if he can hold on to it, though. It looks like Beckett might get it back. Very clean. Starting to get a little too much traction there, maybe. That might cost him right there. Let's see if Scott can hold on to that pass there. Keep it clean. That is for your TQ spot right there. However, they're both a little bit behind TQ pace. Scott currently holds the TQ pace of a 4.22. They're both at a 4.25. Oh, that's going to hurt. He's going to have to fight his way back up. He's got 22 laps to do it. Chris now has taken over that 2 spot. He's about a second, 1.3 seconds behind. Looks like David's going to rejoin the race here. $18 to go. And here comes David Sutton joining the race. We got 10 left to go. Scott still out in front, but only by 1.9 seconds. Beckett has fought his way back up to the 3 spot. He's 4.5 seconds behind. Guess it's not going to work out for David. It's all right, David. I saw you smiling the entire time you were doing low-C sprints, so at least you got that going for you. We'll see you back in USAC. 4 laps to go. Scott's opened up that lead a little bit. Now he's 3 seconds ahead of Chris Russell. Beckett, 2 seconds behind Chris. So he's done a good job of fighting his way back, but not sure he has the laps to do it. Here comes your leader around, probably crossing.
Scott
There we
Rance
go.
done.
Go ahead and finish up the lap. You're
Chris
on, gentlemen.
Russell done. Lee Kiesling done. All drivers are finished.
All right, Finney.
Beckett Russell done.
On to NASCAR Truck Mod. Scott, Creech, Beckett, Chris, and Lee. Scratching? Oh, no. I don't know if I have another one of those laying around. Sorry, bud. Lee, get me the part number for that. It's probably something I should stock in general. All right. Oh, does he have a different servo in there? Oh, and that sounds like a Lee problem. Lee, would you be able to help me out marshaling then? Thank you, sir. I'm sorry? I think putting like a brushless system in it would be pretty fun. Yeah.
Beckett Russell. Chris Russell. Tim Creech. Scott Rance.
All right, just getting our last marshal in place. Thank you over there, appreciate it. Awesome. All right, guys, your order is going to be Scott, Creech, Beckett, and Chris. That is Scott, Creech, Beckett, and Chris. Scott, would you mind getting us going? Bring them around here. Scott's having a good day so far. Let's see if he can keep it going. And we are go. All right, looks like we got a little more traction out there. Watch on the back. Stay low. All clear. Okay, we are 15 in. Creech is your current leader. Followed closely only by 0.7 of a second, Beckett Russell. Then Scott Rance, 7.5 seconds behind him. And then Chris Russell. Well, Chris Russell has just moved up to the 3 spot. Scott still has your fast lap of a 5 flat. All right, 25 up, 25 to go. Creech still your leader by a second over Beckett. Chris Russell, 11 seconds behind number 2 spot. Now, Scott Rance is still your TQ leader. Tim Creech, who's leading this particular race, is still about 6 seconds off that TQ pace. Seems like Scott has picked up some extra traction he wasn't planning on. $16 to go, 16 to go. Beckett still trying to catch up to Creech, but he's about a third of a lap behind. He's got some work to do with 14 laps to go. USAC Sprint is next. All right, less than 10 left to go here. All right, seems like we might have lost Chris on that one. 2 laps to go. 1 lap for your leader, Tim Creech. Oh, watch out on the backstretch. Go wide, go wide. All right, go ahead and finish that
Russell
lap.
Done. All drivers are finished.
All right.
Scott Rance done.
Finishing
Chris
order for that
Russell
one was
done.
Creech, Beckett, Scott, and Chris, but your qualifying is going to be Scott Rance, Tim Creech, Beckett Russell up 1 spot, Lee still in the 4 spot, but it sounds like he might have to scratch for the main 2. Chris, the 5. All right, let's get our USAC Sprint guys out here.
Jason Poole.
Yeah, they just go, right? Yeah. They're quick, they're fun. I like how like just they come around and just go on it. Yeah. Being four-wheel drive really helps to straighten it out. If you got it hooked up, just yeah.
Beckett Russell.
Yeah, not a lot of shared knowledge to pass around.
David Sutton.
All right, definitely going to need some Marshall volunteers. Who do we got here? How's it going?
I'll be back 2 weeks.
All right.
I'll be back.
Very good.
It's fun with you?
I'm sorry?
It's fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at everybody. They're having a good time. All righty. Our marshals are getting in place. I got everybody checked in. I'm just going to read off the order. Don't go quite yet. But we have David Sutton, Beckett Russell, Jason, and Chris. We'll let Creech get in his spot there. All right. Again, order is going to be David, Beckett, Jason, and Chris. David, please get us going. All right, we're going to get it going on the backstretch, and we are go. Oh, watch out over there. Okay. Woo! Let off. Good catch, Creech. That was a close one. Nicely done. Keep it clean. All right, we may have some timing issues here, but for right now, a little over 10 laps in, almost 15 laps in. It's showing Jason, Beckett, Chris, and David. All on the same lap. Entire field is less than 4 seconds. All right, I think we got it fixed. So we are about 20 laps left to go here. David Sutton is your leader. We have Jason Poole 3.5 seconds behind him. Chris Russell 10 seconds behind him. And Beckett 10 seconds behind him. Sorry, that's behind the lead. Beckett's only 0.4 of a second behind Chris. $12 to go. Closest race is for that third spot between Chris and Beckett. Chris is 0.5 of a second, 0.6 of a second behind Beckett. Current fast lap is a 4.835 from David Sutton. 4 laps to go. Last lap here. The leader coming around.
David Sutton done. Beckett
That's
Russell
David.
done. Chris Russell
His
done.
TQ result is actually from the
All
second
drivers
race.
are
Jason moved up
finished.
1. Beckett down
Jason
1.
Poole
Chris's result is from his first best one. I'm going to leave it up on the screen here. Come by and check. We're going to come back at 3:05. 3:05 for Box Stock NASCAR. What I'm going to need from Box Stock NASCAR for teching is going to come over to the tech station. I'm going to check for the tape on the rear, tape on the battery. I'm going to weigh the body and the car all together. As for the other ones, for Street Stock, I'm going to be checking battery voltage. For Losi Sprint, I'm going to be checking battery voltage and to make sure that you don't have any aftermarket parts that aren't allowed. And then NAS Truck, I don't really know how to tech that, so you guys are on your own.
Beckett Russell. Dominic Delk. Chris Russell. Scott Rance. Blake Delk. Dominic Delk.
All right. Need everybody to do just one more lap. Sorry, I had to take a couple guys out here.
Cody Wright. Dominic Delk. Chris Russell. Blake Delk. Tim Creech. Scott Rance.
Beckett, I think you went too tight there, so you're going to have to go around one more time. Beckett.
Beckett Russell.
There we go. Okie dokie. All right, that grip comes up throughout the day once we get warmed up. A couple grooves in there, so your starting order is going to be Tim Creech, the TQ position, followed by Scott Rance, then Beckett, then Chris, then Dominic, Cody, and Blake. So again, it's going to be Tim Creech, Scott, Beckett, Chris, Dominic, Cody, Blake. Marshals, if you wouldn't mind helping out, getting it lined up a little bit there. It's not going to be rolling start. Yeah, I think we do, Chris. Thanks. Yeah. We can do a rolling start. Yeah. We'll do a rolling start. I think that's what I got. Thanks. Okay, we'll wait for Mr. Rittenberry to get down to the other side there. All right. Creech, if you want to get everybody rolling, everybody stay nice and tight. We're going to be starting the A main box stock NASCAR. And we are go.
Transponder 65655514. Transponder 65655514.
You know what, guys? Hold on a second. I'm sorry. We have to stop.
Transponder 65655514.
Sorry, we had... Did I take a wrong person out here? Oh, wait. Jason, are you running for David Sutton? Oh, my bad. Okay, hold on a second. All right, stay there. Hold on a second.
David Sutton.
All right, that's my fault. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. We'll start again. It's going to be Tim Creech, Scott Rance. Hold on a second. Beckett Russell, Chris Russell, Dominic Delk, Cody Wright, Blake Delk, and then David or Jason. So go ahead and get them rolling. Thank you, Creech. Apologies for that. And we are go for real this time. All right, there we go. Everybody started 70 laps here. One in the books. All right, so far running fairly clean here. Pretty spread out field. All right, that's 15 down. Scott Rance, your current leader, 0.2 of a second behind him is Tim Creech, followed by Chris Russell. Beckett, 1.1 seconds behind Chris. Then Dominic, Jason, Cody, and Blake rounding out the field. Mind your Losi Sprint is next. Creech is retaking the lead. 0.6 of a second behind him is Scott Rance, followed by Chris Russell. Beckett is only 0.6 of a second off. Actually, Beckett is just taking the third spot. Let's see if he can hold on to that for another 45 laps. Oh, look out on turn one, turn one. Stay high, stay high. Can't park there, though, okay? All right, your marshal is clear. Creech is starting to pull out a little bit. 2.1 seconds ahead of Scott Rance. But he just ran into some traffic here. So let's see where that puts him. Scott has retaken the lead. Stay tight in four. Stay nice and tight in four. And you are clear. All right, Scott Rance, now your leader. Followed 1.1 seconds behind is Beckett. Tim Creech working his way back up. 2.0 after Beckett. Cutting it down by 1/10 on that lap. Chris Russell's only half a second behind Creech. Rounding out the field is Dominic, Jason, and Cody. Blake bringing up the rear. Scott's got a nice open field in front of him. Beckett has cut the lead down to less than a second. Creech is 1.5 seconds off of Beckett for that number 2 spot. 20 laps to go. Stay low in 3 and 4. Low in 3 and 4. Clear. Oh, big accident on the back stretch there. Stay high, nice and high on the back, nice and high. You're clear, just waiting for the marshal to clear out. All right, marshal is clear as well. Beckett has taken the lead with 9 laps to go. 9/10 of a second behind him is Scott. Chris Russell has come up to the 3rd spot. Tim Creech is 2.8 seconds out of 3rd, though. May not be enough laps for him to catch that. 8 laps, 7 laps to go. Five laps to go. Beckett's starting to pull away from Scott, 1.8 seconds ahead. Chris, 2.3 behind Scott Rance. Beckett can keep it clean for these last 2 laps. 1 lap to go for Beckett.
Beckett Russell done.
Beckett is done.
Scott
Beckett
Rance
is your
done.
winner.
Tim Creech done. David Sutton done. Cody Wright done.
And your finishing
Russell
is Beckett 1,
Blake Delp
Scott
done.
2, Chris 3.
All drivers are
TQ is
finished.
Creech, though.
Dominic Delp done.
All right. Losi Sprint is up. If you aren't in this race, we need you to marshal. Any warm body around, too, is going to be doing marshaling for the rest of the day as well.
David Sutton. Tim Creech.
All right. So Beckett had to scratch on this one. He's helping down there. Thank you. That means I just need everybody to go around one more time, please. Thanks, guys.
Chris Russell. David Sutton. Tim Creech.
Thank you, guys. All right, your order is going to be Sutton, Russell, and Creech. I have a feeling everybody's going to make the podium, but let's see where everybody ends up, okay? Let's go. All righty, your order again is going to be Sutton, Russell, and Creech. David, please get them going. All right, guys, make it spicy. All right, 10 laps in, and the entire field is only 2.5 seconds. Not even quite a full lap spread. All right, let's get an update on where we are here. We are 41 laps to go. David Sutton is your current leader and TQ. And 4.1 seconds behind him is Chris Russell. Tim Creech, 9.1 seconds behind Chris Russell. Street Stock is up next. Scott, Beckett, Chris, Lee, and I know David has already said he's scratched. All right, everybody's about a lap apart here. So we just have to maintain for another 30 laps. So Creech has got to get around Chris Russell and then go around one more time. So maybe you can put some pressure on him to make a mistake. "24 to go, 24 to go." David Sutton with your current fast lap of 4.874. Again, I believe he's using some new tires from Raw Speed that Raw Speed sent for us to test, and it seems like we're getting some good results from him. We seem to be having a problem here. We lost power. Oh, seems like Chris might be out here. So now it is just down to Creech and Sutton. Creech, I request respectfully that you start playing dirty. There's only 13 laps to go here. Ten to go, 10 to go. The cruel mistress that is Losi Sprint has whittled it down to just 2 remaining. They just both need to last 8 more laps. Five to go. David Sutton is 3 laps up, so maybe he can just kind of pull off to the side after maybe a lap or two. It's not his style, though, I think. I think he's going to take it to the bitter end. I think he wants to get one more pass in. 2 to go, 1 to go. Here comes your leader, round 3, then 4, and
David
cross the
Sutton done.
finish. There we go.
All drivers are finished. Tim Creech done.
David's officially continued his streak. Podium finishes. All right, Street Stock is next. Anybody who can, Marshall, please, Marshall. Sutton, you're out, right? Scott, Beckett, Chris, and Lee. Scott's coming into this as your TQ.
Beckett Russell.
Rittenberry, would you mind stepping in to do some
Chris
marshalling?
Russell. Scott Rance.
Watch turn 4 there. Lee, remember the rule. You have to make it to the race.
Lee Kiesling.
All right. Looks like we got a couple marshals in place here, maybe. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. It's going to be Scott, Beckett, Chris, and Lee. Looks like we got our marshals in place-ish. So, Scott, if you want to go ahead and take them around here. Scott, Beckett, Chris, and Lee. We're going to start you on the backstretch. Street stock, A-main. We are a go. Again, seems like there's a little extra grip out there. Stay real tight in 4. Stay tight in 4. All right, that's your lead change right there. Scott down to 3rd. There's a whole lap to catch up to him, though. 65 to go. Plenty of time. All right, we are 15 laps in, and Scott has gone ahead and clawed himself way back to, oh, looks like I spoke too soon. He is now a lap down, I think. Coming up ahead. All right, there we go. So Beckett's still your leader, though, but only 0.2 ahead of Chris. 0.1 now. Chris is closing in on him. Scott, 4.5 seconds behind. He's going to have a lot of work to do, though. And it looks like we might have lost Lee. So now we're looking at the podium, but we got to figure out which order it's going to be. Can Beckett hold on to it for another 48 laps? Can Scott catch him? Looking at Beckett's here, it seems like he's getting a little squirrely. Chris is just still less than a half a second behind him. Scott's making his way back around the track to catch up to them. Has 39 more laps to go. I think Scott's got the speed, but I think it's going to come down to the last couple laps here if he's going to be able to get ahead of these guys. He keeps closing the gap, a tenth of a second every lap. Now the whole field is just barely over a second of separating it after 36 laps. See how close he is after this. 1/10 of a second. So now he's got to figure out how to get around him. Oh, no. You have to do all that work all over again. 29 laps to do it. Can he do it? Meanwhile, Beckett has increased his lead. He's now 9/10 of a second ahead of Chris. Might be able to get a full second on him in this lap. Again, Scott taking off a 1/10 of a second every lap from that second place Chris Russell. But Beckett has opened up, getting about maybe 0.05 of a second every lap, increasing his lead. So is 19 laps going to be enough for Scott to catch up? He's now less than a second behind Chris. Seven tenths. Like I said, a tenth every lap here. All right, here he comes again. Less than 0.2 of a second. Let's see if he can get by him again. All right, there's the pass. Can he hold on to that pass? All right, looks like now he's got 1.5 seconds behind Beckett. 7 laps to go. Math ain't mathin' for him, but let's see what he can do. Again, that pace of about a 1/10 of a second every lap. He's got 4 laps to go, though. Two laps. Last lap for Beckett. Just needs 1 clean lap.
Beckett Russell
That is
done.
it. 1, 2,
Scott
3,
Rance
done.
All drivers are finished. Chris Russell
Good
done.
racing, good racing. All right, NASCAR, NAS truck mod. I keep doing that. All right, do I need to scratch some people from this race? I can't remember. Lee, I forget, are you in this? Are you making NAS truck? Lee? Are you making NAS truck or no? Okay.
Tim Creech. Beckett Russell. Scott Rance.
Okie dokie. Go ahead and get a few warm-up laps in, Chris.
Chris Russell.
That's who I'm talking about. All right, your running order is going to be Scott, Creech, Beckett, and Chris. Scott, Creech, Beckett, and Chris. Scott, go ahead and get us started here. Bring them around. And we're going to get you started on the back here, and we are go 60 laps for NAS Truck here. Brushless system. We got Gary stepping in to do some marshaling, and he's also going to be having one of these trucks out here pretty soon. Isn't that right, Gary? That's right. I'm going to keep growing this class. This is a fun one. Nobody asked, Rittenberry. Nobody asked. Nobody asked. All right, good clean start here. Haven't seen a lot of traction issues. Seems like people dialed it in from the last one. Spoke too soon. All right, we are 15 laps in. Scott Rance with your current fast lap, current 5 dead. Tim Creech also has a 5.0. Current order is Scott Rance. Just less than a second behind him is Tim Creech. Beckett, then Chris. All very close. There's your leader rolling. Let's see what that does for him. Creech might have picked up the lead from him. One more lap. Yes, Creech is your current leader, but only by 0.2 of a second. Beckett, 1.8 seconds behind those two. Scott has overtaken the lead. I missed what happened there, but he got ahead of him. Creech is only 0.3 of a second behind. But Scott is starting to open up that lead already. Scott mentioned to me in between Q2 and Q3, he made the grave error of cleaning his wheels. We'll see if that is still the case here. Guess that might have answered the question. At the end, I got to do it all the way at the end. Yeah. I wouldn't miss the chance to have your mug up on our website. 26 to go. 26 to go. Scott still in the number 2 spot. Beckett is 0.4 of a second behind him. All right, it looks like unfortunately Scott has to drop out here, our TQ. Your order is now Tim Creech, Beckett Russell, and Chris Russell. Sometimes it's about survival. $16 laps to go. $13 to go. Field is pretty well spread out, so as long as people keep running clean laps. 10 to go. Six to go here now. About 30 seconds to go for your NAS Truck mod. Again, these are the Spectrum brushless system. I'd offer you one, but we sold our last one today, so I'm going to have to order some more.
Tim Creech done.
All right, go ahead and finish the lap. You're
All
on.
drivers are finished. Beckett Russell done.
Good finish
Russell
there.
Done.
All right, that is it for NAS Truck Mod. We are on to our last race of the day. USAC, David Sutton, your current TQ. Then Jason, then Beckett, then Chris. Yeah, I'm just going to do some the batteries. What's up? Did it really? It's like 2 laps to go.
Jason Poole. David Sutton. Beckett Russell. Chris Russell.
All right, guys, you're all checked in. This is the last race of the day. Your order is going to be David Sutton, Jason Poole, Beckett Russell, Chris Russell. So, David, you want to get him started? We'll bring him around. We got 70 laps to go. Oh, I'm sorry. All these guys are down here jabber John. All right, can you bring him around one more time, David? Little parade lap here so everybody can see how nice everybody's looking. I do like that Red Bull one, though, even though I'm a Ferrari guy. All right, we're going to get it going on the backstretch here. We are go. Final race of the day, USAC. The big boys, the fast ones. 69 laps to go, nice. David already putting down a 4.850. Oh, perfect landing, honestly. That was pretty good. Barely lost a step there. All right, we are 15 laps in, and David Sutton is your leader. 3 seconds behind him is Beckett Russell. 2.5 seconds behind Beckett is Chris. Jason just 1/10 of a second behind Chris Russell. The 17th lap, David Sutton put down a 4.80. Don't know if David made it down into the 4.7s yet today, but he's gotten close every race, the 4.80 of some sort. We got 44 left. Closest match is between Beckett and Chris. Beckett in second, Chris 1.8 seconds behind. Thirty-five to go here. All right, Beckett has opened up a little bit of lead ahead of Chris Russell. He's now 3 seconds ahead. David is about 3 laps up on everybody else. 2 laps, 3 laps, somewhere in there. 29 to go. Watch out, stay low on the back, low on the back. All clear. It's going to put Chris about 2 laps down from Beckett with 19 to go. Your closest race right now is for the last podium spot. Jason's only 0.2 of a second behind Chris. So there they are coming around the front stretch. Your Red Bull car. And that might be, oh, a pass there. Nope, couldn't hold on to it. Well, but he landed it. Nine to go. The field is pretty well spread out right now. It's going to be some tough rowing to get back into podium position there for Jason. Four laps left for David Sutton. Just needs 4 clean ones. right, David coming around for his last lap. 3, 4, and
David Sutton
that
done.
is your first place
Chris
finisher.
Russell
Finish the
done.
lap you're on. David,
Jason Poole
Beckett,
done.
Chris
All
is your
drivers are
podium.
finished.
That
Beckett, Russell
concludes
done.
racing for today. Let's everybody head on over to the podium and start snapping some photos for those Kodak moments.